Dr. Mel again, and we're busy with physics. We are busy with mechanics, and we are applying Newton's second law. In the first lesson, we actually looked at the horizontal plane, the movement in the horizontal direction. Then we went to the vertical direction. And now we are going to look at an angle, or as we call it, a slope. So let's jump in and see what do we have if I've got a body. That is a body, an object, a car, any mass that's at an angle, and that will be the angle. So you'll always be given one of those or both of those, and let's hope they give you both of those. So what do we do if we've got that body there at that angle? So that's your angle, and it's lying there. Now you know this body or this car will move down. So there's actually a force pulling it down. And what pulls us down? All of us have a mass that's actually being attracted by the earth, and that we call gravity. So we did gravity already. So I've got a gravitational force there which we can actually calculate. So always draw that line and see if you can immediately do the calculation so that you know you found one of the forces already. Now that same force actually has two components. And if you have a problem identifying those, go back to a previous lesson and check. We did a lesson on the components, but let's do it again. So I've got this force there, and remember, never draw all three of them in solid lines. You have to draw either that one in a solid line, or as I now did, I substituted that gravity with the two components. So I've got gravity there, and it's actually been made up by one component, which is perpendicular to the angle. That's your angle there. And the other force is parallel to the angle. Can you see? This line is parallel to that line. So it's in actual fact that force there that will pull the object down, and it will start moving down the slope. Right, so we've identified those forces. I want to show you again that you can calculate this force and that force in a triangle, because, now be careful, you'll have that angle there. And that angle there will be exactly the same as that angle there. In a previous lesson, we showed you the congruence. So that means if this is a 30-degree angle, that one will also be 30 degrees. Now, what do we have? We, for instance, have this gravity as 50 Newton. You know how to calculate that. You took the mass and you multiplied it with 9.8. So, if I've got that side there, and remember, that's the hypotenuse. Now, why is it the hypotenuse? Because it's across the right angle. That's your 90-degree diangle, and therefore we call that side the hypotenuse. Now, which of these sides will be adjacent? That one there is adjacent to this angle. And which one is the opposite? This one there is the opposite. Now, quickly, get your pen, your paper, and your calculator out and see if you can calculate those two with me. Having a hypotenuse of 50 newtons, and let's say we've got 30 degrees there. Let's quickly have a look if we can calculate those two forces. Now, I'm going to do it with you. This one will be, as I said, adjacent. So it will be 50 times cos of 30 degrees. It's adjacent. Guys, remember, do not learn this out of your head and think you're going to have a memory that will tell you this. Figure it out whilst you're busy with the calculation. This one is opposite to the angle. So this one, which is exactly the same as that one there, will be 50 times the sine of the 30 degrees. So you always have forces that you can calculate in order for you to do the calculation. Now let's go to a real calculation that they'll ask me. So just have a look again. I've got the mass. If I have the mass, I have the gravitational force. if I've got the gravitational force and the angle, which is the same there, I can calculate this one, and it's the same as this one there. So it's the parallel one, and this one is the perpendicular one. Now, let's go to a question that was asked in an exam. A 4-kilogram block. So you already see they're giving me the mass. That has to ring a bell. If I've got the mass, I've got the force of gravity pulling it down. So you could immediately just do that calculation. But let's read further. It's pulled up along a frictionless, that's quite important, so there's no friction, inclined by a constant force F. And you can see in this question they gave you the force F. So it's being pulled up, so your direction of movement will be up the incline, with the force acting parallel to the incline as shown in the diagram. The incline makes an angle of 30 degrees. You see they actually drew it in the diagram with the horizontal. And they give you more information. They tell you the acceleration of this block is 2 meters per second square. So I have the mass. I've got the angle there. And they will now ask questions relating to this angle. The first question is always the theory question. State Newton's second law. And guys, the tip is, if they ask you Newton's second law in the theory, they'll probably apply Newton's second law in the next questions. So they'll always guide you on which section they are going to apply the questions. So the first question is just a theory question, and see it's 2 marks, so you've got to write down the correct words. Draw a labeled free body diagram. Remember we did free body diagrams previously. Go and have a look at that snippet if you don't really know exactly what you did there. And they indicate they want all the forces, and see it's 4 marks. So you'll probably have 4 forces or even more. And then finally, what's the magnitude of F? So they're asking you to calculate F, which is causing that block, that 4-kilogram block, to go up the slope. So let's start the answer. State Newton's second law. Now you can study the words. I just want to point out what's the things that's in those sentences. It says a net force will accelerate a mass. Acceleration will be in the same direction as the net force, which makes sense. The net force will pull it. The second part of Newton's second law says the acceleration is directly proportional to the force. The greater the force, the greater the acceleration. And the third part is that the acceleration is inversely. So it's 1 over the mass. So if the mass goes up, the acceleration actually goes down, and therefore we're using the inverse. You also did graphs with this. You actually saw that that graph will look something like that. The mass will be that, therefore inverse, so that you can get a graph that looks like that. Be careful that you do not leave out any of this, because then you'll get 0. There's no half marks or 1 out of 2. It's 2 or nothing. Let's go to the calculation. Draw a labeled free body diagram. Labeled, always the names. Free body. Now you recall, we always made a dot for the object. Remember, we've got this incline there. There you have it. And this is 30 degrees. What will be the forces in this free body diagram? Now let's draw the first one. The first one will be the one downward, and you can name it FG. Actual fact, you can already calculate. You can say it was a 4-kilogram accelerated by 9.8, and you'll probably get your value as 39.2 Newton. But labeled would be that one there. Remember, what do you also have? You've got the force upward, which they ask you to calculate that one. And you know you've got your normal force upward there. So that would be one way of doing the free body diagram. Another way of doing the free body diagram would be to take out this one and actually substitute that with the 2 components. So let me draw that next to this. So you've got your object there. You've got your force pulling upward there, the F, and exactly the same as in the previous one, you've got your normal force. Instead of the gravity, that's the gravitational force there, I'm now going to substitute it with the two components. The one being perpendicular. So it will be Fg perpendicular to the angle. And the other one will be the parallel component. Now I want to discuss quickly the marking. They will give you 4 marks. Can you see the normal in both of these will be a mark? The F in both of these will be a mark. And then you'll have to indicate the two components in order for you to get your 2 marks. Remember, solid lines there, and this one is dotted, or in this case, you would have made those two the dotted ones. Be careful and get all your marks. Right, what was the last question? Calculate F, and we did Newton's second law. Now remember, this block is going upward, so we want to calculate F. Is there any friction? No, there's no friction. So I only have the one force going down, which is Fg parallel. Now I'm going to go back and ask you to calculate this Fg parallel. Do you remember? We've got it there. Now let's quickly do it. We've got the mass. Let me get a clearer color. I've got the mass there, which is 4 kilogram. And if I carry that over to Newton's law, I've got that. And we already calculated that as 39.2 newtons. So there you would have got a mark already. Now we want to calculate that component. Remember, that's substituted with those two components. And I'm quickly going to draw my triangle just again, just to refresh you. So I've got the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is 39.2. And I can clear my triangle. And that angle there will be 30 degrees. This is opposite. Can you see? So it will be 39.2 times opposite sine of 30 degrees. So the sine of 30 degrees, which is 0.5, with that 39.2 will give you an answer of 19.6 Newton. Now, what are we going to do? We are going to calculate the F with this force. Now, remember, we had the F going upward. We had downward now 19.6 Newton. I'm going to clear and we're going to do the calculation. So I've got F upward. F in this case, guys, will be greater than the parallel force because it's moving upward. So you can see in my angles, I also drew it a little bit larger. I've got this value. This is 19.6 Newton. So Newton's second law, let's go back. F net equals M times A. What did they give me? They actually gave me the mass. It was a 4 kilogram block. They gave me the acceleration. They said it's going upwards too. The only thing that I now have to see is what will F net, the net force, be? Well, it will be F, which is up, minus the downward value, which is 19.6. And can you see, you can do the math now. So I've got F this side. I'm going to say this is 8 minus this, which is now a plus. And I can now calculate my value as 27.6 Newton. Can you see we found the F now? Just to quickly check, I've got an upward force there of 27.6 and I've got a downward force of 19.6. Can you recall now which way will it move? Obviously it will move upwards because that is the greater force. You'll get 6 marks for all the calculations. Remember to write down the equation because you actually get marks for the equation. Let's see what you should have been able to do. Can you define? Can you write it down, the nice words that they actually give you to explain Newton's second law? Always work from a free body diagram, and then finally do the calculations with Newton's second law. Check if you can find the net force, and you will have all your marks. I hope you are very successful with Newton's second law. Bye bye.